Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Dank Dread here, and today we are going to be taking apart and cleaning an old N64 cartridge. So I got Paperboy right here, and what you're gonna want to do is flip it to the back. There's going to be two screws here, so just get your screwdriver, take these out. These will be game bit screws, so do make sure you have a game bit screwdriver. You can get them cheap on Amazon. Yeah, but just take these screws out, set them in a spot where they won't roll away or you won't lose them while you're working. And lift this off, and be careful, there are clips right here, so lift it up and pull the back part backwards. Just go ahead and set that off to the side. And then there are going to be two Phillips head screws right here. They're pretty small. Just go ahead and take your screwdriver. We can unscrew these, get them out. And also make sure that you set these off somewhere separate from the other two, because you do not want to mix the screws up, nor do you want to lose either of them. So just do be careful of where you're setting them. So then you can lift this metal piece off here. Might be a little difficult depending on how old your cartridge is, but just be careful while you're doing that. Don't want to break anything. So lift that off, set it to the side. And here is the main part right here. So you can take this little piece off, and you can also set that to the side. And then just put this down. We're going to be working with this first, and then take this last metal piece out and set it off to the side. Here's the front plate. We'll put that off to the side for now. So we're just going to be cleaning this part right now. So get some isopropyl alcohol, and I use a toothbrush, and then make sure you clean off these pins nice and good. You want to make sure that they're really good and clean, so that way they're making a good contact on your Nintendo 64. And flip it over and do the same for these pins. And you can just clean off your board too, in case there's any white dust or any grime on it, anything like that. But go ahead, now that this is cleaned off, we can set it to the side, and we'll work with the front plate. So clean off the inside first. Get right here nice and good, because this is where it is exposed. So just make sure you get all that grime out of these little spots, and then go all the way around your cartridge, just right along here. Make sure you get right inside that corner, because there will be a lot of dirt and grime sitting in there. And then you can just have a little wipe down on the rest of it. It shouldn't be too dirty. Then flip it over to the front, and we can clean the actual front panel. Make sure you get right inside these two cracks on here. And then you can of course just wipe it off. If there's any staining, it should come off. You might need to use some soapy water on this plastic, but if you do that, make sure it is dry before putting all of this back together, because you do not want to mess up your board. But yeah, that should be clean, so we can set that off to the side, and we'll get the back panel. We'll work on the inside of it first though. And I don't know if you can see this right here, but there is some black line just right across. So we'll just take our isopropyl and we'll rub that, see if it comes off. It might not. I can see it's thinning up a little bit, so I'm sure if I scrubbed it for long it would all come off. Don't want to make the video too long on you guys though, so just go ahead, make sure you get right here also. This is where it will be exposed. So just scrape that all off, and then remember to go around your cartridge all along the corners, and then we flip it over to the back, and make sure you get inside of these screw holes right here. Just get them all nice and clean, and then you can get the rest of the faceplate. Right here where it says Nintendo will probably be dirty, so make sure you get that. And then any little corners that you see, just make sure you get those nice and scrub. Get it all clean. You can clean these little metal pieces. Mine aren't too dirty, so I'm just gonna leave those alone. And same for this little plastic piece. So we'll just leave that alone. But you can take your screws also, and you can set them in a little alcohol or some soapy water, get them cleaned out. But I just scrub a little alcohol on them, make them look nice and shiny. Do the same things for the Phillip head screws. Alright, so that's all we have for the cleaning. We will put it back together though. So get the front plate, set that down. You're going to want to put this piece on right here. So this is the piece that will connect to the front plate. This is the piece that will connect to the back plate. So you can see a little difference in these two holes right there. So just make sure you have the right one. It shouldn't go in if you're using the other one. Just make sure you line that up nice and good. And then if you remember, the chips were faced towards us whenever we put that in. So let's just go ahead. We can put this back on there. Oh, backwards, my bad. Alright, make sure it's faced this way so it's sticking out. And you have to make sure you get them all lined up in here. If it's not going in, it's probably this little plastic piece. Just make sure it's lined in there. Alright, and then set this. These little things will go on the outside of this metal part. So just set them right there. And then line this all up good. And it should snap into place pretty well. So then get your Phillips head screwdriver and the screws that go with it, of course. And you can just screw this back on. Get your other one, put it on this side. Make sure the screws are in there tight, but don't tighten them too much because you don't want to break the plastic underneath it. Just make sure it's good, it won't go anywhere. Then you can grab your back plate, my bad guys, set that on there, and then you can get your two screws, put one in there, screw that on down, and get your other one. I'll get it eventually, guys, don't worry. Alright, so just make sure you get that one screwed down. And once they're both in there, just make sure they're in there nice and snug. You know, don't try to force it too much. You don't want to break the plastic. But there you guys have it. That is cleaning an N64 cartridge. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any recommendations for future videos, also leave those in the comment sections. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.